Hi, my name is Richard Dix, and this is How Did That Happen? A podcast where I look at everyday things or events and try to figure out how they came to be. Every week I will research one topic, and by the end of the episode, I hope to truly have the answer to the question, how did that happen? Hello, and welcome to another episode of How Did That Happen? This week we are discussing Black History Month. It started as a week of lessons in schools and has blossomed into much more. Come along with me as I ask the question, Black History Month, how did that happen? In 1915, Carter G. Woodson started the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. Its original headquarters were in Chicago, but today it is headquartered in Washington, D.C. Woodson, originally from Virginia and the son of former slaves, will become only the second African American to get a Ph.D. from Harvard. While studying, he noticed that the history of African American people was often mistold or used as a narrative to keep blacks down. He is quoted as saying he would treat the records scientifically and to publish the findings of the world, end quote. In 1916, the association launched the Journal of Negro History, which honored African American people and their inventions. In 1926, Woodson and the association announced that the second week of February would be called Negro History Week. They chose this week because of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass's birthdays, which are the 12th and the 14th, respectively. Those two dates had already been celebrated in black culture going back to the late 1800s. The first states to allow this into their school districts were North Carolina, Delaware, and West Virginia. In addition, Baltimore and Washington, D.C. also participated. Literature was passed out to these schools to teach children about the history of black people in America. This week will continue to grow over the years with help from the media and the continued spread of education in schools. The idea to take it from just a week to the entire month came from black educators and the Black Student Union of Kent State in 1969. The first celebration occurred 1 year later in 1970. President Gerald Ford officially recognized the existence of Black History Month in 1976, and while officially recognized, there are no laws that state teachers have to teach black history. In 1979, Toronto was the first Canadian municipality to officially recognize Black History Month. In 1995, Canada passed legislation that recognized Black History Month across the entire nation. And today, Black History Month is celebrated in a number of countries, including America, Canada, Ireland, the Netherlands, and the UK. And that is how Black History Month happened. And now it's time for the roundup. The roundup. And we're going to round it up. So a man named Carter Woodson starts an association and studies the life and history of black people in 1915. They create Negro History Week a decade later. This grows over the next 40 years until the black students and faculty at Kent State push to have the entire month of February celebrated. This catches on and becomes endorsed by President Ford in 1976 and is now celebrated in at least 5 countries. Things I didn't know before. Okay, so one thing I didn't know, and it's pretty interesting, I feel like I say that every time, but that they celebrate Black History Month in October in the UK and Ireland. I did not know that. And it just seems, it's not odd, it's just like, I don't know, I guess it just shows that you always think that, you always put some sort of like meaning or something to it. And there is meaning to it, as we talked about this, as to why it's celebrated in February in America, but it's like, really, you could just do it any time of the year and it would be the same. So that was interesting. I didn't know that. Also, that it initially started as just 1 week, which seems like, I don't know, I guess ambitious. I guess I'm not sure. It's just like, if I was to start that, I wouldn't expect that a week would take off anywhere. That's just me. But the last one is that the initial vision of Carter Woodson was that if he created Black History Month, then eventually we wouldn't need it anymore. We wouldn't need it anymore because people would be educated about Black history and they also would respect Black history. And so then it's like we wouldn't have to like dedicate a whole month to like showing people why they should care. We've been doing that for about 100 years now and we still haven't gotten there. But that was his vision. This has been another episode of How Did That Happen? I am your host, Richard Dix. Thank you for listening. Come check out the Twitter page at HDTHappen, where I post pictures and interesting facts about the show and about history in general. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.